Today, I wanted to talk about the idea of how to not stumble, when it comes to the idea of working too much. Okay, because this is a really big deal. And also, I want to talk to you about how to not stumble by not working enough. We've been talking about this idea of rest, and I really have had God speak to me a lot as we've been dealing with this for the last couple of weeks. But today I want to introduce an idea to you that maybe you haven't really had on your radar, maybe you haven't really thought about before. And that's the idea of day and night. Okay, when it comes to working, we have no boundaries anymore when it comes to working because of technology, because of electricity, because of first shift, second shift, third shift. We have no boundaries anymore when it comes to working. But that's not really the way that God created us. We have found a way to go to in a way usurp his creation, the way he made us, through technology and through electricity and things like that. So today I want to talk about this idea that God made day and God made night, and God made day and night as a gift for us. As a matter of fact, one time when Jesus was going to heal his friend Lazarus, he wanted to go and heal him, and he waited 3 days so that God could be glorified through the whole situation. But when he was getting ready to go, his disciples were concerned for his safety, because they knew that the Jews were going to try to catch him and to kill him. But he says this powerful thing that we just miss because we're part of this incredible story of him healing Lazarus from the dead. And today we're not even going to talk about that, actually. Today I just want to look at this one little thing he drops in there that we miss, but if we understood it would be so powerful for our life. He says this in John chapter 11, verse 9. He says, are there not 12 hours of daylight? A man who walks by day will not stumble, for he sees by the world's light. It is when we walk by night, it is when he walks by night that he stumbles, for he has no light. How many of us in our life, in our relationships, in our families, we're stumbling not because we don't have a good heart, but because we're walking by night, because we're defying the principle of day and night, and we can do that because we have lights. We have cars with lights on them. We have buildings with lights in them. We can go to the mall or the store after dark. We can go to an arena, to a movie theater after dark, and it's not stumbling because we feel like there's light there in front of us. It's always a safe environment because everything is lit. Parking lots are lit. But what if there's a bigger principle of rest connected here, and that God gave us rest, that we would work during the day and that we would rest at night? See, when do we have a time to just be instead of to work? When do we have time just to be? We're called human beings, not human doings. And yet everything we are participating in life is doing. So even when we stay home at night, because of, like I said, electricity and technology, we're not at home resting. We're so often at home working. We're traveling by night. And when we travel by night, we're going to stumble. Not only because the rocks that are there to trip us up, but because we defy the principle that God gave us of rest. God provided for us rest on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and on a yearly basis. The rest he provided us daily is day and night. If we work by night, if we walk and travel by night, if we don't recognize that there's a time to work hard and a time to rest in our life, we'll stumble. Weekly, he gave us the rest called the Sabbath. And so we work 6 days, but then there's not even just an evening to rest. There's a whole day to rest. And then yearly, they're called annual feasts, the feasts of the Jewish people. A lot of times we could just, transfer that to say, we could take vacations or some sort of an idea like that. But God gave them, not that replaces that completely, but it's just to give you the idea of the rest that God wants you to have. And so God gave us rest in a lot of formats. And we so often defy our daily rest because of all of these modern conveniences that we can email, we can work by phone, and then we just recreate at a level beyond that. So I would like to encourage you and challenge you. Some of you, you're working too much. Okay, maybe you get home from your 8-hour shift and then you work for 8 hours at home because you're painting a living room or doing a project around the house. Or maybe you're just recreating too hard. You're running out to the stores every night and you're doing this special school activity and that special school activity. When are you just being? When are you allowing God to minister to you just in life and remembering who He is? And then some of you are working way too hard. You need to cut it off. You have to say, God made day and God made night. When am I going to rest? I'm going to rest. I got 12 hours that I can push. But the other 12 are for rest. And I'm not going to be sleeping 12 hours. I'm only going to sleep 8 hours. The other 4 hours are for rest at home. And then some of you aren't working hard enough. Some of you are resting all day long. The Bible calls that the sluggard or the lazy person. And destruction comes to the lazy person too. Because now instead of working and providing for yourself in those hours of work, you're forsaking that. And now you have want in your life. If you're not working 12 hours, a certain amount working for finances as a career, as your job, and then a certain amount working to take care of what God has given you, your family, your house, even if it's just an apartment, or even volunteering in your community to make an impact. If you're not giving 12 hours a day to things like that, then God gave you day and you're not using that day to travel and to accomplish what He desired you to accomplish. So anyhow, I know I'm going a little long with this, but I just am really trying to make a point. God gave you day and God gave you night. Are you accomplishing what He desired for you to accomplish in the course of a day? I hope you're not being lazy with that. And are you resting as He gave you the evening to rest? I hope you're not squandering that rest with trying to overachieve. God gave us these gifts and we want to work in the flow of creation. We don't want to overcome that flow of creation by being workaholics or sluggards because we have an ability to overcome that with welfare or technology. So I just want to encourage you in this and just to think about it. Let God speak to you. If you're part of a small group, then your small group leader has an extra devotion to take this message even further. So enjoy that with your small group. Otherwise, God bless you, and I will see you guys next week. Think about it. Are you resting properly? Are you working hard enough? Are you resting enough? God bless you. Keep growing.